Thanks, Todd. Good afternoon. My name is Remco Van Mook, as Todd already said. I'm going to keep this short as I've only got 10 minutes. I'd like to hear some opinions after this presentation, so let's go ahead. This presentation describes the recent experience I had at home myself. What happened was I bought a new wireless router because it had all sorts of new buttons and tweaks. And I'm a geek, so I bought a new one and had absolutely everything in there. Dual band ABGN, wireless, 4 gigabit ports, mass storage, firewall, VPN, well, everything. But then it had the IPv6. Well, it wasn't in the manual, and it wasn't in the web interface. But the good people at Linksys, or Linksys by Cisco, as I should say as of last week, they had some good ideas. At least the premises were good. We need to deploy IPv6 worldwide. A lot of ISPs don't support it yet to the edge. So let's help out a little. No mistakes there. So what did they come up with? And this is where it starts sliding a bit. Let's run IPv6 on the local network. Let's use 624 in the router firmware. And do router advertisement on the local network. How did I find that out? I switched on v6 on my laptop, and it worked. Where it wasn't supposed to, because I hadn't configured v6 anywhere yet. So, and of course, I had 624, and it was not firewall or VPN or anything. So basically, everything behind my Wi-Fi router and firewall was accessible from the outside world. So, where did it go wrong? This wasn't documented anywhere. It wasn't configurable, and there wasn't any way to switch it off. Yes, I could switch the entire wireless router off, but that wasn't really the point. I really liked the 300 megabit of wireless and all the other goodies that came with it. So I had to live with these packets on my local network. And here's the Wireshark capture. So v6 in consumer devices, it's great, but how do we do it? I mean, I tried to talk to Linksys customer support about this. They said, what? Native v6, and my house was broken. I tried doing a tunnel and proper native v6 on my network, but no. And even though v6 can be plug and play in zero config, please make it configurable. There's of course an additional slide. Since I'm a geek and I couldn't live with this, how I fixed it. This might actually be more interesting even. How do you do this when it's not documented anywhere? Well, fortunately, Linksys has open source software, so use the source, Luke. There's a GPL source tree available if you look for it. It's about 90 megs download. Then you document by using grep. And hidden in a web page on the web interface called system.asp was an internal variable on the web page which had v6 in the name somewhere. The actual visible name for that was Vista Premium. So what you did was you disable Vista Premium, reboot, problem solved. If this confuses you, you are not alone. But at the same time, this opens, I think, some food for thought. So, what is the proper way of doing v6 in devices like this? I mean, I appreciate the effort that Linksys put in, but I don't appreciate them not finishing it. So, what do you think? How should we do this? I think 624 as a feature in boxes like this is a nifty feature. It does get in the way if you start deploying v6 as an ISP, and if the customer is anybody but me, you're likely to get calls from your customers about why v6 is not working, whereas you didn't do anything wrong. So, any thoughts on that? Marco, go ahead.
next time if you buy a router, call me, because I could have warned you about this one. And well, it's actually an observation which you already made. Might break a few non-disclosures here, but somebody explained to me it was about the requirement to put that little ready for Vista sticker on the box to support 64. And that might explain why it's called Vista Premium as an option. I'm not sure if it's true. It came from a well-known vendor that this was the case. If you want to put Vista, ready for Vista on your box, it should support 64, and that's why it's in there.
That is interesting. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Roque again from Lagnic. I can give you my experience that actually with a similar box, same features by Asus. And so what I went a different path, I installed DDWRT. And the thing is, DDWRT in the new version has no IPv6 support. So, but I wanted IPv6, you know, it's like I'm doing V6 training, and so I download this special image that you download that you only can find the link in the forum. Like, oh, you download the image, but and you have to enable IPv6, do a bunch of copy and paste, etc., find out, etc. And I did it, and I realized it worked. But my ISP has this great idea of changing my IP address every 12 hours. So my 624 was working great for a couple of hours, then it was not working, and actually it was terrible because I still had the arrays then, you know, for the 2002 address that didn't match my before, so I had to put a script inside the cron, inside the DWRT, and then change my address every time. So even though DWRT is great, has a great interface, you see, we're having issues with the home devices.
Yeah, well, that's exactly the road I didn't want to take, because I'm still a geek, but I'm desperately trying to recover. So I didn't want to do any custom-built firmwares anymore. The DD firmware, incidentally, isn't available yet for this box. I checked before diving into this, but
good.
Thanks. Anybody else on the left?
Just information for you. Apple released the AirMac Extreme, and it was shipped with 624 function, and that is enabled by default. And firstly, it doesn't have IPv6 firewall. And U.S. Homeland Security complained about that. It is too bad. And Apple people came to IETF, and they turned that policy and changed that policy. And I think that they shipped with the firewall, IPv6 firewall function enabled right now.
Okay, thanks.
Wes Hardiker, Sparta. I have bad news. It's your fault.
And why is that?
Well, I'm getting there.
Okay.
The problem is that we as a market-driven society pay for bells and whistles long before we pay for management interfaces and configurability and all sorts of other stuff. So, you know, when we have this tendency, and I fall into the camp, but when we have the tendency to go buy all the new features with the new bells and whistles, you know, somewhere marketing in all these companies make these decisions of, well, should I deploy, you know, this new option, and it may not be the option you wanted to purchase. You know, you may have purchased it for some other reason, but they're trying to market as many new features as they can get. And so, you know, as we all know, the manageability of all those features comes much, much later, especially if you're talking network manageability.
So this is the interesting bit. I agree with you that we're as the consumers are at fault, but if your train of thought was correct, then I would have expected font size at least this tall on the box that said it would support IPv6, and it would have this size of fonts in the manual about how it supports v6, and it's incredible and it's new, and it doesn't have v6.
That's a very, very valid point. You're absolutely right. And my second comment would be then fix the source, Luke.
Thanks. But as I said, I'm trying to recover.
Any other questions? Remco, thank you.